Hi, my name is Jessica. Welcome to my sewing space. Today, I'd like to tell you a little bit about my journey into quilting. About 5.5 years ago, I taught myself how to quilt. It started with a birthday table runner that I saw in a magazine, and I thought I'd really like to make that for my kids. So I bought the supplies and I got started. My time was really limited then. I had 4 young children, 7, 5, 2, and a newborn. And I didn't really have much time at a sewing machine. I never finished that table runner, but that project did catapult me into quilting. Shortly after that, I saw a quilt that I really wanted to make, and I did it the whole way through. After that quilt, I was hooked. I knew that I had found my passion and that I would quilt every day. And since then, I have. After a few more quilts, I decided that I wanted to start designing my own quilt patterns. So I did. I designed quilt after quilt after quilt. I couldn't get enough of it. I submit my designs to magazine, and after a bunch of no's, I finally got a yes. Once my quilt was published in a magazine, I got the idea that I wanted to write a book. I had only started quilting a few months ago, but I just couldn't get this notion out of my head. This was gonna happen. So again, lots more no's. Eventually, there was a yes. And that was my first book, Season to Taste. Since then, I've published 2 more books, A Year in Solids and Pre-Cut Parade, which is my newest. It just came out this past August. I love everything about quilting, from designing, picking out your fabric, cutting it, sewing, piecing the top, quilting, binding. I love it all. It's really relaxing, it's really rewarding, and it's an enjoyable process. One of the things I didn't expect when I started quilting was the quilting community. I didn't know anyone who quilted. I taught myself, and I had no one to really connect with about that. But what I found was there was this whole community of quilters online. And since then, on my Instagram page and my blog, I have built a group of lovely quilters who like to connect together over projects. I love designing patterns that anyone can use. I try to publish a lot of free patterns every year so that everyone can enjoy them. I love hosting quilt-alongs, which is another aspect of the quilting community. It's when we make a quilt together virtually, and it's a really encouraging thing. You have someone to talk to about the process if you get stuck. You have someone to encourage you and to move through the steps so that you don't get stuck and your quilt becomes unfinished. You have people making the quilt with you and cheering you along the whole way. And that's what I love about this community. On my Instagram page, we talk a lot about blocks, quilts, techniques, you name it, we cover it. And it has been a really rewarding experience to share how I make blocks and quilts and I organize my projects, and I love connecting with everyone about that. But there are time limits on Instagram, and we can't always cover everything in as much detail as I'd like to, and I think as much detail as you'd like me to. So I've decided to expand to YouTube. Here on my channel, I will be sharing the same kind of demos and quilt-alongs and projects that I share on Instagram, but in a longer form. We'll make blocks in real time. I'll walk you through all the steps. We're gonna cover techniques that you'd like to learn. I actually love every quilting technique that I've tried. I love applique, traditional piecing. I love foundation paper piecing. I love English paper piecing. And I'd like to share that all with you because I know there's a lot of questions. Sometimes when people start quilting, they just stay in their lane and always do the same thing because that's what they're comfortable with. But we're gonna branch out and we're gonna learn new techniques. We're gonna develop our skills together. And I'm just so excited to be a part of that with you. So thank you. Thank you for following me. Thank you for being here and watching these videos. And if there's ever a technique that you'd like me to cover, leave a note in the comments. I'll add it to my list and we'll work on it together. I can't wait to sew with you. Until next time.